Hello. So today I wanted to talk about the mindset that you need to speed up your business growth, because for so many of us, it is a really long, slow, painful process, right? But we tend to, like, we're moving like at a snail's pace. Like, we can get to the next, we can envision the next step and the next one and whatever, like one at a time, and it's so slow. And the problem is that you have to learn all the different pieces for the whole, right? So you've got to work on your mindset. You've got to work on your strategy, your structures, all of that stuff. And when you first start out, especially if you're anything like me, you actually tend to think, okay, I need the structure, I need the strategies, right? I need to learn all the business stuff. And you don't think so much about the fact that if you had your dream handed to you today, if you had all the money that you desire land in your lap, if you had all of the clients that you hope to work with land in your lap, and you hadn't done the mindset first, and you hadn't, I mean, the business structures are important too, having the systems in place so that you can handle that without it like imploding on you, right, is really important. But if you don't have the money mindset and the financial management skills and the time management skills when it comes to the clients, right? If you don't have all of these things built up, it can be a real struggle, right? So there have been times even in my own business where I've had like a big upswing in business where like I had more clients, things were busy. It was like, woohoo, it's great. But then I wasn't ready for it and things would crash and burn, right? Maybe they wouldn't crash and burn completely, but it would just be so much harder than it needed to be. And the thing is, what we don't realize is that every single time we up level, all the pieces come with us. So it's like, okay, I've up leveled to the point where, you know, I can hold 5 clients, let's say, and 5 one-on-one clients, and I have the time for that. I know where that money goes to. That money has a job, like all of that stuff. And you've got your mindset sorted out, your time is all sorted out, and everything's good, and you've got a plan, and it's great. But then you get 10 extra clients. Well, where do you put them? If you haven't built your schedule around that, where do you put them? If you haven't figured out how it's going to work for you to manage all of those different pieces, where do you put that? If you don't have support, if you don't have a team that can support you, what do, right? And so it's really important to work on the mindset piece, especially around what really needs to happen before you can grow your business. So we all want to grow our businesses. We all want to be able to support our families. We all want time freedom, financial freedom, all of that stuff. But that's not all there is to it. And it's really important to remember that. So, and of course, you've all heard it before. It's important to slow down. It's important to stop, to pause, and to get really clear, right? And that can feel really hard. It can feel like, but if I'm not selling, if I'm not online, if I'm not checking messages, I'm going to miss something. I'm going to drop a ball. Things are going to go crazy, and so on. And the thing is, that's just not true. Okay. It's a mindset. It's a block, a limiting belief type of a thing. When we don't pause, we get frazzled. We get panicky. We get into that mode of just throwing spaghetti against the wall. Like, I had an idea. Here, let's do it. Let's see if it works. That one didn't work. Okay, here, let's try this one. See if that works. That one didn't work. And just like we get in this like hamster wheel where we're not getting anywhere. And so it can feel like taking a day or a week or whatever to just stop and get clear can feel really heavy. It can feel like you're throwing away money. It can feel like you are missing opportunities, that fear of missing out, right? But it's actually not. Like, all of the time that you spend throwing spaghetti against the wall and not having anything stick, you could have been spending getting clarity and then taking off, right? And so how do we do that? How do we do that without, life falling apart? The thing is, this is the mindset. This is the shift that you need, is to realize, or is to allow yourself to let go of control, to allow other people to be in charge of certain things, to allow things to fall flat if they are not handled, to realize that you can't do everything all at once, and that if you don't let it go, you will never make progress. You will never move forward. You will never grow to where you want to be. So, for example, over the holidays this year, I had planned on taking a couple of weeks off where I was mostly just, spending time with my kids, relaxing, giving myself a break. And that's really important. That's really important to do. But I also, in the back of my mind, because I'm the productivity lady, right? I was like, I can work on my website, I can do this, I can do that. And now I did some of that stuff, but not a lot. I didn't get nearly as much done on that type of stuff as I thought I was going to. And the reason was because I had been go for so long, I had forgotten to slow down, to stop and get clear again. And this is something that you need to do consistently. You need to do it again and again and again so that you continue to build that momentum really quickly and get farther faster. And I think basically since leaving my husband, I haven't really done that. And so it was kind of just like, I knew I needed to take the break. And so the first few days I was like, I'm just gonna not work. I'm not gonna look at social media. I'm not gonna do any of it. I'm just gonna, do whatever. And literally I just slept. I slept and slept and slept and slept and slept. And I was exhausted and I didn't even know how exhausted I was. And I ended up spending most of the 2 weeks sleeping, to be perfectly honest. I slept in every day. I went to bed early. I took naps, and it was just like, I needed to just stop. And in between, in the moments that I was awake, I got insane clarity. I got insane levels of clarity on everything that I'm doing, on where I really want to be in the future, what my big vision is, right? And this is where people online talk a lot about quantum leaps. And you always think of it in the sense of going from a 1K month to a 10K month, that's a quantum leap. Woohoo, that's great. What about quantum leaps in understanding, in knowing what you're doing, in knowing what your mission is, in having quantum leaps in the amount of clarity that you have in your messaging? All of these things ripple out, right? They have a ripple effect. And so not taking the time to get that clarity means you're not creating those ripples. When you get super clear on your messaging, that will ripple out into people understanding what you're selling so that they're like, oh yeah, okay, that is for me. And then they buy. That will ripple out into you being able to be more focused, especially when we're talking ADHD. If you don't have the clarity, then it's just oh, squirrel, oh, and you do 20 million things and you realize, I haven't made any progress. I haven't really moved forward. Okay, so yeah, having that clarity on your messaging so that you can market, so that you can sell, it ripples out. And so whether you need to take a whole day or whether you need to take a whole week or a whole month or 2 weeks like I did, or whatever the case may be, there is no amount of time that is wasted on getting clear, on getting clarity, on getting a deep-seated understanding of where you're headed, of what really matters to you and why you're doing this. And beyond just, it's not just about working less and being at home with your kids and being financially independent. Those things are great. Those are all things that we all want, 100%. But it's not just about that. And I know that if you're in my world, it's not just about that, because it's never been about that for me. So no matter the other pivots that I've gone through, no matter what point you came in at, I know that you have a bigger purpose than that. Those are the side effects. Getting to be at home with your kids, bonus. Being financially independent, great. Working less, fantastic, right? But underneath all of that is this bigger vision, this reason that we really want to be here, that we really have this big vision of how we're going to change the world, or how, and it may be on a huge, a global scale, or it may be a smaller scale, but I know that every single one of you is going to make an impact. What I want to do is help you get there faster, right? And so When you have that deep clarity, when you stop and you just allow things to fall flat for a little while if you need to, you're really not going to lose money, lose like possibilities, miss the, the FOMO thing. You're not. It feels like you are, but you won't, because you are going to open the door to so much more after you get that clarity that you could have spent months scrambling around, throwing spaghetti against the wall, and not gotten anywhere, and not been making sales because, again, your messaging isn't clear. You're not able to focus and stick to one thing so that you're consistent. You are just all over the map, right? So then you're not making any sales then anyways. You might as well have been sitting at home getting clear on all of this stuff. And this is literally like wake up, take the time to do this. And it's the same message that I say around self-care. It is not optional to spend time on our self-care. If we don't spend time on our self-care, we are actually being really irresponsible. We are not being as good of mothers as we could be. We are not being as good of members of our community. We are not being good partners to our husbands, whatever, boyfriends, whatever. And we are not making progress on that big vision that we have, on that impact that we really are here to make. And so self-care absolutely is a huge factor in this. And not taking the time to do that self-care really holds you back. When you take that time, all of a sudden you're clear, you are ready to go, you are energized, you have so much more motivation to get the things done that you want to get done. And this is the same thing. When you take time for your business to just get clear and to take as long as it takes until you're like, I have it, this is going to be amazing, and you're just on fire, then you go and you start working and you are like, you're off like a rocket. And I've done that before and it's been fantastic. And like I said, it's been too long ever since I moved out. It was a long time. And so this, over the Christmas holidays, it was almost forced on me because it was like, you haven't done this, you haven't stopped. And so that was while I was learning the new balance of being a single mom again and all of these things, right? And of course, all the new things that we learn, they all take time. But stop. You have to stop. If you are feeling like you're scrambling and you're feeling like you are changing up your messaging very, very frequently, and you feel like you are not 100% certain of where you're going, like what that long-term vision is, it's time to stop. It's time to just completely drop everything, pause, hit that pause button. And I promise you, your audience will wait. They might be like, what the heck is going on? Or they might not. You know, if you've been really inconsistent, they might not notice anyways. But doing that and taking that time, you will be able to build that momentum up very quickly when you go back to it. And there's no set amount of time, right? Some of us are able to get clarity very, very quickly. Combined with the exhaustion, it took me 2 weeks to get to the point where I was like, I'm ready. I am on fire. Let's go. And that also partially had to do with the energies in the world right now, right? Like there's just, everybody's like, so that's where I've been at too. But taking that time, first off, to do your self-care, to take the time for you, because you cannot be as helpful to other people when you are not doing that for yourself first. But also, and then just time to restore yourself so that you have that clarity, so that you're able to move very quickly after that point. You will also have a ton more confidence, right? When you are clear, when you have that deep-seated understanding, you will go into a live like this, like I am right now, and be like, I know what the frick I want to talk about. I know what you guys need to hear today. I know why this matters, and I know how this live right now is going to impact my trajectory. I know how this live right now is going to impact my clients' trajectories. I know all of that because I got so clear. And that takes time. That is not something that you do in like a 20-minute journaling session. You need to take more time than that. And in order to take that time, we got to work on this, right? Because we have that mindset of like, if I stop, everything is going to fall to pieces. My family will fall apart. Everybody will miss their appointments. My kids will go to school half naked, like, you know, all of the things. And while some of it might be true, it's also, none of it is the end of the world, is really what it comes down to, right? We need to learn those true priorities of like, you know what? My kid goes to school wearing the same shirt she wore yesterday. Honestly, my kid has done that 3 days in a row before. And I've been like, go change. And she's like, no, I want to wear this shirt. Whatever, right? So what's the difference? You know, an appointment is missed. Like, that sucks. Reschedule. And you can do things to prevent too, right? If you actually plan for this and you don't wait until life knocks you down and says like, stop. You have to stop. If you do that first, then you can plan ahead. You can move appointments. You can have somebody else like designate that responsibility to your partner and be like, you need to take care of this because I'm going to be busy. I have this business planning or this work that I need to do. And so taking that time ahead of time to delegate, to have that all planned out is going to make that session a lot more effective because then you're not panicking about everything else that goes on. And again, mindset, you have to decide that it doesn't matter if your partner screws it up, that it is not going to be the end of the world. Nobody's going to die. It's going to be fine. You'll fix it later because you always do. And you just let them crash and burn if they need to, and you focus on what you need to focus on. It is crucial. Just like I was saying, just like self-care is crucial to business because and crucial to everything in our lives, right? You cannot be the best mom you can be. You cannot be the best wife you can be. You cannot be the best community member that you can be. All of the pieces, you can't be the best that you can be without that self-care. It's crucial. You cannot be the best business owner that you could be without that self-care. And the same thing goes for, you cannot have the momentum and scale up as quickly in your business without the clarity work, without the time spent on getting clear, on getting that deep understanding. So, and when you don't take that time, like you literally just waste. I probably wasted an entire year before I did this the first time. Knowing you have a bigger purpose and not knowing what it is yet, that's the kicker. Yes, but this is exactly what I'm talking about though, Michelle, because when you stop and you decide to sit with it and figure it out, you'll discover what it is. This is what I'm talking about with allowing everything else to crash and burn. It's okay, right? It has been on your shoulders for so long. It was on my shoulders for so long. We've all been there. As moms, it is like just the way things are, right? And that's not acceptable. And it needs to stop. And the only way that stops is by us saying, have at her. Burn to the ground if you want. Like really, you have to. And it's the same when you are parenting your kids, right? If you control every move that they make, if you make all of their decisions for them, they will never learn to do it for themselves. Just like cleaning up toys, if you never make them clean it, they actually won't know how. It's not something that's built in, right? We have to teach them. But yeah, so choosing that you're going to take that time even before the mess is dealt with, even before all the appointments are done, even before your ex-partner learns how to man up, even before your whatever the case may be, before your house is organized, before all of this stuff. The thing is those things can literally go on forever. They can go on and on and on. And if you don't stop and figure it out first, they will keep going on. They will just keep being a mess because you don't have a clear direction. And so taking that time to do your self-care and then taking that time to get clarity on your purpose, the impact you want to make, the big vision you have, whatever you want to call it, that time is worth more than I can possibly explain. Like you're never wasting time. You are not doing it at the wrong time. You are not doing it too soon and you should have waited until XYZ. None of that. right now, this is the mindset. This is the mindset work that needs to happen, that I wrote this live for, is you need to decide that that is the priority. Because when you do that, when you have that clarity, you are going to take off like a rocket, and it is going to make it easier for you to maintain your motivation with cleaning up the house and getting your life in order. It is going to give you the drive to, and like the confidence to put your foot down on things with your partner / ex-partner who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and you're just like, you know, you're ready to throw up your hands, but instead for you to be like, it's going to be this way because it has to be this way, and you need to grow the frig up, right? But yeah, so this is the mindset work that I challenge you to do today. Anyway, so do the mindset work that it takes. Do the convincing yourself or talking to whoever you need to talk to get to be convinced that you need to stop, that it is okay for you to stop, that this whole weight that has been put on women, particularly mothers, by the patriarchy of, it's our job, we have to keep everything together. If we don't keep everything together, everything's going to fall apart. Well, then let it fall apart. Let it fall apart. This is important. If you are going to make an impact on the world, you have to let it fall apart, because otherwise you are going to wait until your kids are grown and gone, the divorce is settled, or, you know, maybe you've got a great relationship and there's no, you know, like, that's not the thing. But like, if you wait for everything else to be done first, you'll never start. You have to start now. And if you don't start now, when are you going to start? Like, it's literally now or never, because you're not going to start in a month. If you haven't really made any progress, you're going to be in the same place you are now, going like, shit, it's too much. Like, it's too much and I can't stop. If I stop, everything will fall apart. Same as it was a month ago, right? And so then when you add all those months together, you end up spending years wasting your life away. And it's not a complete waste. You're with your kids, you are, you know, you're doing whatever you need to do to keep them healthy, alive, all of that stuff. But you could also be setting an incredible example for them of how to balance their time, how to manage it, and how putting yourself first ripples out to make the other things work better. It ripples out to having the patience with them. It ripples out to having the energy to be able to clean your house. It ripples out to you being able to focus and then take that time for the clarity. It just can, the ripples continue forever. If you want to grow your business, especially as part of your impact, as part of purpose, or as like whatever big vision that you have for your life, that you know you're here for more, you have to stop. You have to stop saying yes to everybody else. You have to stop choosing everyone else over yourself. You have to be a little selfish. It's not actually selfish, because it ends up that you have more time and more patience for them later than you ever would have if you didn't. And the same goes for your business. You end up making more progress and getting farther faster later than you ever would have if you didn't stop and take that time to get that clarity, to get really clear on where you're going, what you want, what you're envisioning, right? If you don't know what you want, then you're not heading towards it. That's all there is to it. If you're not sure, you're not heading towards it. So get sure, get clear, and make it a priority. And do whatever it takes to wrap your brain around that so that you can stop doing the rest until you're clear. And that's really what it comes down to. And now, for any of you who are looking at this from the business perspective, and you know, you're starting out into 2023, you want this year to be different. You want this year to be the year that things finally take off, that you speed up your business growth, right? I would highly recommend, I encourage you to join me inside of my virtual business planning retreat. It is a 3-day event, 2 hours per day, and we will be doing a loose outline for your entire year, getting that clarity on where you're going so that you know what you're aiming towards so that you can actually start making progress towards getting there. And then we will be planning out in much more detail the first quarter, the next 3 months. We're starting a little bit later just because of the energies that were going on. I decided to push it back, but we will plan 3 months, very detailed planning so that you are able to follow your plan and just stick to your plan. So this will not be, figure out your entire life purpose, all of that kind of thing. I can absolutely on a call if somebody needs help with that. But this is to plan out your business for the next year so that you have that direction to go, so that you can, like you're here, you pick where the end line is, and then you're actually heading towards it. You may not get all the way to the end, you might pass it, but you'll be on track, right? And that is absolutely key if you want your business to grow, is that you need to be heading towards something specific. So I would love to have any of you who are interested in that join me for that, to get clear on 2023 for yourself so that this year can be different. Because like I said, I know that if you're in my space, you have an impact to make. I know that if you're in my space, you have a bigger vision. And so I want to help you get there. And this retreat is very accessible. It is $133 for the 3 days, 6 hours total, and you will walk away with your plan. It'll be done. It's not going to be like homework every night. We will do it during the calls. And yeah, it's going to be very powerful. So I would love to have any of you join me in that. I would love to see you building that momentum to speed up growing your business, to speed up reaching that impact that you want to make in the world. And if not, that's fine too. I really hope that this has inspired you to just stop and take the time that is needed so that you can get where you need to go. Because living our lives in the hamster wheel sucks. It sucks. We love our kids, but we end up resenting them. We love our partners, but we end up resenting them. Or maybe we don't anymore, but like we can't make progress in any areas of our lives when we're on that hamster wheel. And so I don't want that for you. I want to help you build that momentum and get you where you need to go. And there are many different ways of working with me to do that. Or you can continue coming to these things every week and just keep learning, and that's fine too. I love having you in my world. I love all of you for being here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate getting to know you guys and the time that you give me by showing up. I'm very touched. I know how valuable your time is, and so I appreciate you. Again, I thank you for being in my world, and let me know what your biggest takeaways were from today and what action you're going to take, because working on the mindset is great, but then you need to take the action on it too. So I hope you take the action. I really do. And I look forward to seeing you build that momentum, and I look forward to showing you mine because it's coming. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next Tuesday for the card pulls. Michelle, tuning into you is part of my self-care. Thank you. I just love you guys. You guys are amazing. So I have gotten to the point where my job is something that is basically self-care for me. I love it. It's just fantastic. I care about you all, and I really do appreciate your time and you being here. So thank you again. So yeah, I love you all. Have a great weekend. Mwah.